Hey, hey, hey.
Hello.
Oh, I'm back.
I know. It's very nice to have you sitting next to me and not like, it does sound different. Like it makes the sound.
It does sound different.
So it's so nice to like have you here because I feel like I struggle to hear you a little bit.
It's a little hard too because I can't see how long we're going when I'm not
and
here.
I had to like just kind of cut you off. Although that part I liked.
Right. You probably like that. And I can't like when we talk over each other, it's a little harder.
Yes,
So
I would agree.
the band is back together.
We're back. Everything is good.
I do feel like I haven't seen your husband in like 2.5 weeks.
I don't feel like you're missing anything.
I've been going through withdrawal.
I think
I've been with my husband.
Ironically,
for 2.5
well,
weeks.
actually, I was going to say when I saw your husband the other day, I was like, "Did you miss me?" And I think he said yes, just because he didn't know what to say, and it was super awkward.
He's been so busy.
Yeah,
and he has another week of so busy.
I mean, it's like a lot.
Anybody who thinks they want to be the Ohio Farm Bureau president,
Second guess it.
be the vice president.
I feel like you should probably second guess it.
No, it really takes the whole team, but it's no joke.
He's just gone a lot this time of year.
Well, here's a good one. So he's on the phone a lot because, people are calling to have conversations and there's board meeting this week. So there's lots of things to discuss. And we always laugh at him because you've seen this. He walks around with his AirPods in his ears and he like paces back and forth. And he looks like he's talking to himself.
No,
really
and sometimes you don't know. And then you'll talk to him and he's not responding.
No,
to you
because he's on the phone.
phone.
But last night, I'm working on a report for him because we're wrapping up the Ohio Achievement Report Forms. I will have a party when this is done. I have such a good appreciation for my parents and what they went through. Kids can only do so much, So anyway, I've been on the computer a lot. So last night, Olive, because the computer our Mac is hooked up to Bill's, like through his iCloud account. Olive, my little niece, is calling 2 FaceTimes. Decline. So I said, I'll call her. So I called her on my phone. I've never seen such disappointment out of a 2-year-old. She looked at me and kind of frowned. She didn't want me. She wanted her Uncle Bill. So I had explained to her that he was on a phone call. And my sister's like, well, she's got to go to bed.
So I think that's really sweet.
It is very sweet.
My niece
but I was
used to be like
sad.
that. My niece does not
She won't even
really
say
love
my
me.
name.
Yeah, like my niece is not I'm not her favorite person.
Clearly I'm not mine.
And now that she's older, she's like pretty shy, so it doesn't matter. She doesn't do it to Tom either. But when she was little, I used to watch her every day. And her favorite thing was Tom's office was actually in our bedroom at the time. Like he had a desk up there. And her favorite thing was to like go lay in my bed for her nap because Uncle Tom was up there.
Yeah, it's
and it
cute.
was like the sweetest thing. She has never in her 6 years of life wanted Aunt Danna. But Uncle Tom has been
I think
like
it's when
her
you
thing.
want them to want you, they don't like you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that she doesn't like me. She just loves Uncle Bill.
Yeah. So I had one sip of this. So just a heads up, Kristin, I'm a
Danna's
little under
sick.
the weather. I thought we had a volleyball tournament this past weekend and I was like yelling and screaming. So then yesterday I had not a raspy voice, but kind of like how I am right now. And I just thought it was like,
You do sound kind of raspy. You sound like a smoker.
That would probably have been more fun. But I now woke up this morning and I have like draining in the back of my throat. And I'm like, oh, this is it. So I took like a whole bunch of Airborne and Tom just gave me bourbon, which I hate bourbon.
It'll feel good on your throat.
It doesn't. I just
I'm
had the
helping
first
you.
sip.
I'm using, what do you call it? Like precautionary methods.
So that you don't get sick.
So I don't get sick.
Yeah.
'Cause bourbon kills everything.
I hope that I get better because we're supposed to go skiing this weekend. And not that I love skiing. I've decided I love everything about skiing except for actually like physically going down the hill.
She even likes the lift right up.
I love
It's
the
just
lift right
down.
up. The lift right up is fantastic. It's fun. We do a shot of Fireball. It's very fun. I love it.
That'll make your throat feel better.
I know. Do we have Fireball? I don't think we have
Oh,
any.
no. I have the candy cane from the
are you
cookie
bringing
party
it?
that I
was
was
gonna tell you
supposed
to
to
bring
take
it.
and I forgot.
But I was going to tell you to bring it because I was going to
guess.
get some too to bring.
I have a whole candy cane.
Good. But so I love everything about skiing. I love the ski little outfit.
She likes to look good.
I like to look good. I like the hanging in the lodge,
Eating,
being with people.
festivities.
I am the worst skier. Like if you know anything about skiing with French fries and pizza,
Okay, so you're actually not the worst.
I am not a good skier.
You're not excellent, but I'm not
I
great
can
either
get
these
down
days.
a hill, but not gracefully. Would you agree with that?
I think part of it's confidence.
I can what? I can get down greens without much trouble, he said. So I would agree with that. Greens are my jam. blues are a little dicey, and I will never get onto a black. Like, I learned to ski at 40 years old. So, like,
that's okay.
I feel like all
You're a
things
team
considered,
player.
it's okay.
Your family
But
does it,
my
so you
family
do
likes
it.
to ski, and so I will ski. And this is maybe once or twice a year that I go out skiing, and this is it. So, anyways,
There was a TikTok that was you. It wasn't you in the TikTok, but it was everything about you.
We just like watched it. Like, it's all the things about like your first time skiing and like all the things that you hate about skiing. And it's me to a T.
But it was all the things that like you braid your hair.
Yes. And like, oh, sorry, it took me 4 hours to go to the bathroom. That's how long it took me to get out of my snow pants. Like,
she lost her skis.
Yeah, like when you go into the lodge and you put your skis up and then you come out and you're like, where the heck are my skis? So like all these things. So while I'm very much looking forward to being with friends and my kiddos this weekend, I am really not caring about going down the darn hill.
It'll be fun.
Now I'm worried that I'm going to be sick. So I'm like busting up with vitamin C.
And I have a lot going on until the ski trip, so don't get me sick.
I feel like you have a really busy week too. So I'm like, I can't get sick. So anyways, that is that. And then
volleyball tournament. Let's talk about that. So kind of fun. This is interesting. If we tried to plan this, it wouldn't have worked.
We couldn't have planned this any better.
Olivia had the USA volleyball tournament.
Volleyball, Ohio Valley Regional, OVR is like they do huge tournaments. And so one of the ones that we do every year is down in Columbus at the convention center.
So that's where I was.
Yeah. So I'm like telling them, I'm like, oh, we have to go to the convention center. We have to go to Columbus next week at the convention center, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, when? Because we're going to be at the convention center next week. And here, the Ohio Farm Bureau Young Ag Professionals.
Way to go, Danna. Look at you.
Thank you.
For short.
They had a very small section of the convention center for them.
Which wasn't even that. We had about 500 people.
Yeah, it was very large. And I mean, they used like a ballroom and everything. Like, it was good size. However, it just goes to show you the size of this convention center, because not only did we have, I think that they said it was like well over 100 teams from like 30 different clubs or something like that from all over. It's like Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, Pennsylvania. So we all, come together for these tournaments. So not only did we have that, there was a like cheer, dance, whatever competition going on. Yes. So much glitter. And so I don't know, like I was at our convention center maybe like 3 weeks ago for a tournament, and Cleveland has a beautiful and large convention center, but the Columbus one, it's just insane. It's like, you do not realize how big it is until you
It's a little crazy.
It is crazy that there are all of these events going on there.
So I kept thinking of the cha-ching, cha-ching,
so much money.
Cha-ching. Every person who walked through the door, $10.
Yeah. And think about this, like every kid that you saw playing volleyball, their parents forked over a minimum of $2,000 to $3,000 for the year to play volleyball.
Oh, so much money. So
not
I told
including
Danna,
the hotel stays, the travel expenses, everything that goes along with club volleyball.
The T-shirts, the sweatshirts.
You got to buy an $80 sweatshirt.
Starbucks.
It's ridiculous. It's so. You got to pay for parking. You have to. I mean, everything is insane.
You got to go to the bar and buy drinks.
Well, you do have to do that, because otherwise you'll never get through the day. But like, it is insane the amount of money. And I'm like laughing to myself, because this is the first year that Olivia's played on what is considered, there's different levels of volleyball. And national is like considered to be like the top teams. So this is the first year she's played on a national team, which is actually, not that I didn't like going to volleyball tournaments before, but they were definitely not as entertaining.
This is high level.
It's very high level. These kids, the majority of these kids will probably go on to play volleyball in college. Maybe not D1, but like
smaller schools,
D3 and whatnot. I mean, every one of these kids are starters for their volleyball teams at this level. And so it's become, for me, actually enjoyable to watch, because it's like, holy cow, these kids are good. I'm kind of surprised Olivia's on the team.
Oh, no, she did great. So actually, we talked about the $10 pain to get in.
She did.
We just
great.
act like we owned it. I hid my wrist and I just plowed through when I got in for free.
That's like the proof
twice.
to like act like you belong, like act like you know what you're doing. You just go.
They would
like,
never have guessed I was at a farmer convention.
Confidence is key. But so it's actually like enjoyable to watch.
I didn't
these
stay
now.
very long, so I will say.
And ironically, her team did absolutely terrible on Saturday. And so Saturday you go into pool play.
I was bad luck.
Apparently, because they determine where you'll be placed in what bracket. So she got placed in a terrible bracket because they played so poorly. But then they ended up like
they won their bracket
because they
nobody
played
needs to
great
know all
next day.
the other details. You
Talking
won
about
your
volleyball.
bracket.
So it was great though because Kristin and Bill got to come and see her.
Watch Olivia. It was fun.
And then Kristin's kids were in town also, and so they got to come because that's not something that your friends always get to go see.
I mean,
at
that's
these
dedication.
tournaments.
2.5 hours to come watch your friend play volleyball.
Clearly your kids came only for that.
We are like number one Olivia fans.
Olivia fans, yes. But it was fun. We had a great time. I
Go
loved
OG.
it. I got to meet some new parents, so that was kind of
Oh,
nice.
your team. We didn't get to talk about this. If you listen, hello. They're really fun people.
Yeah, we had I loved the parents.
So nice.
I had a great time with
Even
the
the one
parents.
dad that I was sitting beside, I think
Yes.
he's like, who the heck am I sitting by?
Yeah, but
He was so funny.
Every parent was just like, this is a new team for us this year. We switched clubs, and so this is a new team. So I don't know any of these parents, and they have been so welcoming to me and like kind. And I was nervous, just like I travel without Tom all the time, so it's not that big of a deal. But like I don't know. It was just nice. Like I was I was afraid I was gonna be by myself, like without him being there.
If I was there, it was fun.
It was great.
I was your icebreaker.
And she actually came. She was because they were like, "Wait, you're a sheep farmer?" Like, and then when you were gone, they were asking you so many. They were asking me so many questions about you. Like, I don't understand. Where are the sheep? Like they needed
where
to know
are the
everything.
Where are the chickens?
But yeah, so it was cool.
We ate them all.
Yeah.
No, they were really fun. But the one dad watching the game, Bill was standing with me and he's like, we're not looking very good. And Bill's like, I think he thinks you're a parent on the team. And I'm like, no. I met him when we were at the Hilton.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, he totally knows that I know nothing about volleyball.
Yeah, it's fine. But we were not looking very good at that time. So
Well, the other team that you played, do you know how they ranked?
they came in first place.
Okay, so
First
because
place
they
in
were
gold.
real good.
They were first place in the gold bracket.
I mean, I thought that the ball was literally going to touch the court on the other side, and they somehow mysteriously got underneath it and brought it over and scored.
Tom always says that he does not want to. He would never want to be on the other side of those hits. Some of those.
I
girls
would
do.
not.
Yeah,
I
just
mean,
in
they're
general,
like spiking the ball, and
Yeah.
it's hard, and somehow they get it up. And
Tom, or Olivia, that's her job.
yeah, I don't know how you guys do
So
it.
she's defense.
I couldn't do it. But I equated this to a sheep show
She did. So she
because it
she was
is
standing
like
there
a
and
sheep
she's
show.
looking around.
You
and
don't
she
pay
goes,
to get in sheep shows.
well, this is very similar to a sheep show, and I'm thinking to myself, oh yeah, it's the same thing for sure.
It's basically like a lot of rings of different breeds of sheep
yeah, but this
showing.
is just courts. It's
And
a
they're
bunch of
courts playing volleyball.
Mm-hmm.
You actually don't pay to get in sheep shows, but sheep shows cost you a lot of money because you still have the food and you
So
have
you don't now.
the
Do you have
sheep.
to pay to be
If you're at a
entered
fair,
into
you have.
it?
Oh well, yes,
Yes.
We pay to enter, but we don't pay
So
to watch.
Our club pays to enter us, and so that's why volleyball fees are so high usually.
So you don't have to actually pay more.
We
so
don't
once you pay to join
more
the club,
when the club pays. It's like hundreds of dollars for
the
each tournament,
tournaments.
right? Whatever. But
Sheep
we
shows
also
do
have to
cost
pay an
hundreds of
admission
dollars.
as a spectator.
we have to register the sheep with the breed association. We have to register for all the different shows.
Right. So we have to register her. I guess it is kind of
It
similar.
is. You have to buy the
we
outfit,
have to
the
register
uniform.
her for the Ohio Valley Regional. Like you have to be a registered member of OVR. You have to be a registered member of any type of tournament that we run. USA
It's the
Volleyball.
same.
It all has to be registered because they're not allowed to play in those tournaments unless they're registered.
Correct. So if you're not in 4-H, you
We
can't
do
be in
pay
the
for the
shows.
uniforms.
So there's so many parallels.
yeah, so many volleyball, sheep shows, same thing.
Olivia's been to some shows. Actually,
Do you think it's the same? Liv?
shown a sheep.
Olivia?
I know,
showed
but
a
do you
sheep.
feel that volleyball and sheep shows are the same?
Well,
She's
you have to
saying
see
no.
the similarities.
I would agree. So I think anything
Yeah.
that's competitive, anything, it just
It is.
proves to you
So I
that
like
every
it when
single
some
aspect
kids
of life is
don't-
about making money.
Right? Oh, for sure.
That's all it's about. Everything.
When some kids don't play sports and they just do 4-H and show livestock, it's like it's their sport.
That's their sport.
Like these parents pay loads of money
Mm-hmm.
to show these market lambs, and it's great. Like I think it's a busy kid is a good kid.
So I would agree.
and you wouldn't have it any other way. This was a fun weekend.
No,
It's
we
just
had a great
exhausting
weekend.
to get there.
Oh my gosh, we didn't get home till like 9:00 at night or so. Maybe it was later. I don't even know. But it was just so. It's like it's hurry up and wait all weekend long.
just like a sheep show.
Yeah, you know, it's like you have to be here. Okay, first game's
Okay.
at 2:30. We have to get there.
Got
at
5
noon.
hours.
Right, and then
But
it's
let's
like,
warm
what?
up. Oh, let's talk about your warm ups at the volleyball games. You guys warm up for an excessive
Like
period of
15
time.
minutes.
They should be warming up before they get to their warm up.
Well, there's no courts to do that on. There's only so much.
I don't know,
space.
the
So you
lobby
have
of
to
the
wait.
convention
So
center?
the convention center has a rule
Oh, no balls out
that
there?
there are no balls in the. Yeah.
Oh,
So
well.
some convention centers you are allowed to do
Yeah,
that.
change that rule, Columbus.
Columbus has a rule that you are not allowed to like do anything with volleyballs in the hallway there. So.
Oh, I almost forgot one thing of the fun weekend. It was almost my highlight of the weekend. I had a meeting in Columbus, so I was there early. So I checked into our hotel, and then Sam met me.
Oh, yeah.
And this was fun because Sam, he's a freshman in college, and I always say, I'm like, he loves me. He thinks I'm so cool. And Bill's like, keep telling yourself that, babe. And I'm like, no, listen. His friends went out of town, and Sam texted them, and it's like, hey, Kristin's in town and we're going to dinner. Because they would have come with us. It would have been so fun, but they're out of town.
Those potatoes.
And so I took Sam to Thurman Cafe, which is like a staple in German Village. If you go to school at Ohio State, you know about Thurman Cafe. But then he's like, do you really think this is still a cool place? I'm like, oh, Sam, it is.
So like it was cool when you were there.
It was cool. It's been cool long before me. It's a hole in the wall place. And I told Sam that the key to a cool restaurant is when you see young college kids there, besides Sam, like there were others. You see people in their 20s, like, or almost 30s. You see people my age who are coming back, and you see like old people there. Some of the bartenders, I'm telling you, were the same.
I mean, I guess that's
but he liked it. The food's good. The wings are delicious. It was a fun place. So I think he had a great time. And we honestly just had a lot of fun. He came to YAP for a little bit and watched the discussion meet. It was a nice little time.
I think that's really like great though that you.
It was fun. It really was. And then he introduced me to Insomnia cookies.
What are those? Are they good?
It's like crumble cookie, but better.
So speaking of cookies, so this is for anyone that is gluten-free. I'm going to have a little conversation really quick about this because it was like life-changing for me.
Well, maybe we have to test it again.
I have the other cookie. I'm going to try it again.
Eat the other cookie. This is a test.
So
I learned this. I've known this for a long time.
This is not if you have celiac disease.
Do not
try this. This is only if you have a gluten intolerance, which is what I have. So my body does not process gluten well, but I am not like allergic to it. So Kristin was in Salt Lake City, and she brought me back these cookies that are made from Kamut, Kamut.
Is it Kamut or Kamut?
Kamut. I'm probably saying it
I don't
wrong.
know.
Kamut,
I don't know
maybe.
the real word. I thought it was Kamut, but I have no idea.
Very possible.
So this lady that I follow called the Food Nanny, just in Salt Lake City, happens to have a store there. And I was eavesdropping. And so I'm like, can I go with you to this other lady? And she's like, sure.
So it's made with this flour, which is like an ancient grain flour. Well,
it's from Europe.
So the whole thing with like gluten is it's processed, and like that's what makes it so that like you struggle to digest it, or it can make you sick. So if it's a lot of times ancient grains do not have like any kind of processing to them. So that's why supposedly. So we looked it up, and it says like if you have a gluten intolerance, you should be able to tolerate these anything made with this flour. However, if you have celiac, no way. It's no way.
And we do not advise you trying this.
So
but
we
if you
decided
do try
to do
it,
an
let us know.
experiment the other day, which Bill actually made me laugh quite hard because he was like, do you realize that the experiment is like, are you going to poop or not?
Right. Is Danna going to poop?
Is Danna going to poop? That was the experiment. So
it's a science fair project.
Now, normally when I have gluten and I get sick from it, it is fairly quick. It's within an hour or so. So I ate the cookie. I was fine all day long. And the cookie was fantastic. But I did not realize until after I ate the entire cookie that it was 400 calories.
And it also cost $6.
Yes. So I would recommend sharing the cookie. So that being said,
I already ate one, so I don't want to make you feel bad. Like I eat it in Salt Lake City, the Snickerdoodle. Delicious.
So that's the one that I have that you brought me back.
Oh, you have a Snickerdoodle left?
I have a Snickerdoodle left. I've not eaten it. So I'm going to eat that.
That's good.
So I had like the chocolate
I ate it
brownie.
while I was in bed. Oh, probably podcasting.
Nice.
And let's be clear, last week when I was podcasting in bed, I was fully dressed.
Well,
but I'm like
I would hope so because
bed.
at one point, like the
housekeeping came in. I was fully dressed. Like I was just like relaxing. It was kind of nice.
Well, so I did not get sick, but then like 5 hours later, I took Olivia to see Mrs. Doubtfire, which, oh my goodness, if you have the opportunity. So it was just in Cleveland. The run is over now. But the people that were doing it, that were the actors, this was like the opener for Broadway. I didn't realize that. So this is going to now be a Broadway show in New York.
Awesome.
10 out of 10 recommend. Like absolutely if you have the opportunity. I did not want to see it. I was actually bummed when I found out like these were what my tickets were for because we have season tickets. And it was so good. It was so good. So anyways, we found a little sushi place in Playhouse Square, which so good. And if you ever come to Cleveland, because I know a lot of our listeners are not from Cleveland, check out Playhouse Square. It is the second largest theater district in the United States.
Really fun.
It is just such a cool
place. It's like
place.
a little mini NYC.
It's a mini NYC. It's got some great little restaurants and beautiful, beautiful theaters. So Liv and I always go together. We went and had sushi. Well, sometimes when I order sushi, I don't know what I'm ordering. Does it happen? Like you don't know what the words are. And I've noticed that I can tolerate tempura okay. So when I get sushi, I can eat tempura. Well, I ordered this sushi for Liv and I, and it comes out, and it is literally the entire sushi roll is fried. Like, I think they dropped the whole thing in. So I think I'm going to be okay because I normally can have tempura. About 20 minutes into that show, I started feeling my tummy make some noises. And I made it home that night, and I was okay, but I did get sick all day the next day. And so I'm going to assume that it was not the cookie that made me sick.
This makes me nervous, but I really do want you to try
So I'm going to try it again. I'm going to put my life at risk again.
But the reason this is so exciting is because I'm like back into my sourdough making, and I will...
In her free time.
Which I've not had any
The stuff
of.
that you decide to do isn't always smart. Do you
but
realize
it's stuff
that?
That's so good and fun for me. It's
I
my
know it's
fun.
fun for you, but like you have to have time.
But I like to do that. So I have to do things I like. So I love to make bread. Anyway, so I would be willing to sacrifice paying for this Kamut flour for Danna to have bread if she can tolerate it.
Well, I will say it's.
So
I think we're there.
Stay tuned because
ask me next week and I'll let you know if I
Danna
pooped.
going to poop after the cookie?
That's what we'll find out. We'll let you know.
So I also have to give a shout out to my friend Catherine from the Fearless Female Farmer.
Her podcast is probably better than ours and not as inappropriate about poop.
Let's just talk about this for a second. So she's on Substack. You can find her there. She's said, I've never listened to one of your First of all, she has a podcast. She was podcasting in our hotel room when I walked in one day. And I'm like, she's talking to people. I'm like, Catherine, you've never asked me to be a guest. And I was joking. And she's like, I'm like, no, I'm just kidding. And she's like, I've never listened to your podcast. And I had to explain to her that Catherine's super smart.
I don't know that she's going to like it. And I also feel
said, Catherine,
that you're now
like,
calling our listeners not super smart. So you might want to watch what
Catherine's
you're saying.
Like so formal and polite. I think
it's a different.
So I'm like, Catherine, your podcast is full of content.
Ours is not.
Ours might make you feel less smart, but you're going to laugh.
Well, no, if anything, it will make you feel smarter than us.
That's true. That's true.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Catherine, if you listen this
You're
week,
welcome.
We made you feel smarter.
There you go. That's what we're here for.
Until next time, friends.
Have a great week.
We're mismatched.